Hey guys, my name's Crystal Kenny, and I'm in love with creating. All things artistic and imagination involved. I'm an American girl who chased her creative dreams all the way to Paris, France, making a living using photography. This podcast takes you inside the stories of all the artsy folks I've met along the way and gives you that extra push to discover your creative gifts. The desire to create is deeply inside each and every one of us, and I give you the tools and inspiration to find a new way of living a more creative life. This is La Vie Creative, the podcast. My guest today is Landen Kerr. She moved to Paris in 2018 after falling in love with the city on a semester abroad trip. She was working as a travel planner, but obviously the pandemic changed those plans, so now she's switched to selling vintage French antiques on her online website. She also has a wonderful Instagram with many followers where she posts daily pictures of the beautiful Paris scenery called Paris with Landen. I hope you enjoyed the show. So welcome to the show, Landen. I'm very happy to finally chat with you. We've chatted a lot on Instagram. We have a lot of mutual friends. I'm a huge fan of your photography and everything that you're doing. And now we get to find out your backstory. So welcome to the show.
Thank you so much, Crystal. I'm so excited to be here.
Now, you came to Paris in 2018. Tell me about that. You had visited a lot before, and then what made you make the final move?
Yeah, so I actually studied abroad here in 2012 and fell in love with Paris, and then came back again the following summer in 2013 and really confirmed that I fell in love with Paris and knew I always wanted to eventually try and live here.
Mm-hmm.
And it didn't happen right after college, but I had the opportunity kind of late 2017 to make it happen. And I knew it would take a while logistically just to get ready for a big move like that and get the visa and find the apartment. So I announced in January 2018 to everyone that I was going to move, because I think once I said it out loud, it also held me accountable. I wasn't able to back out and say, oh no, I'm not going to do it. But yeah.
And how did they respond? Was your family supportive? Were they like, no, don't do it? Or were they like, go for it?
I think everybody kind of knew it was coming. I mean, anytime I had vacation days, I went to Paris. It wasn't like I didn't go anywhere else. And everybody just knew how much I loved it. So I think they kind of thought, oh, she'll go do that for, a year. And I told them, I was like, I'm going to do it for 2 years, because I think in 1 year, you don't really know. You could have a great year and not like it the next year, or vice versa. But so I said 2 years, and I think everybody thought that I'd give it 2 years and be back home, but that's not the case. But everybody was really supportive.
And you're sticking it out through the pandemic.
Yes.
And what was one of the biggest surprises about moving here? I mean, everyone says vacationing here is so different versus living here. Like, was there any surprises for you?
For me, two things that really stick out are the lack of air conditioning. My first summer, I was kind of like, oh my gosh, how do people do this? And then also just the day-to-day, anytime you need anything, whether it's going to the grocery store or whatever, you have to carry it yourself, and you have to carry it up the stairs. And just being from Dallas, I'm so used to just getting in the car and going wherever, even if it was so close. So those were kind of my two shocks. And then also getting used to, not every day is at a cafe, like having lunch and dinner, and you have to kind of have real life too.
Yeah, you have to go to the Carrefour, the grocery store, and cook sometimes and do paperwork and, go to the doctor's office, normal stuff.
Yes.
This normal life. And was there anything that, looking back, you wish you would have done differently with the move, or did everything kind of go smoothly for you?
Honestly, I think I got pretty lucky with the move, other than the visa stuff was really hung up, because when I applied for my visa, it was when France just started outsourcing to VFS, I think, that third-party company.
Oh.
So because when I got my student visa, I went to Houston, which is the closest consulate for me, and I just went to the French embassy, and it was so easy. I just had my appointment and got my visa that day. But this time I had to go to that office, and It was crazy. I had a 10 a.m. appointment, and at 6 p.m. the office was closing, and I still hadn't seen anyone. So they were just ferreting us all to anyone who's available. And I think I got with a man who his job wasn't normally to do the visas. And
Mm.
because I have the auto entrepreneur visa, I think he ticked a box wrong
Oh,
because
no.
all of a sudden I got an email saying, your application got sent to the consulate in Washington, D.C., and we need all of these extra things from you. And I was kind of like, this is weird because this definitely wasn't on the checklist, but I sent it in anyways. And then it just kept being delayed. Of course, I couldn't get a hold of anyone. And finally, they said, if you want to request your passport back, you can. And so I did because I already had the move planned.
Mhm.
And I just went ahead and moved to Paris without a visa because I was working for an American company anyways. And I know that's definitely not legal with tax to be working in France and not have a visa, whatever. But I was back and forth so much that I wasn't ever here for the more than 90 days anyways.
Mhm. Yeah, so many people do that. I mean, it's not that big of a deal.
Yeah.
And
I mean, then the weirdest part though was then in the middle of all of that, I got an email saying we need you to translate your whole file into French.
what
And
a
I
nightmare.
Yeah, anyways, I ended up having to like withdraw that application, and I did it again, and it took 6 days from start to finish. So, long
What?
story short, I think the guy checked the wrong box.
That's really funny. Gosh, but what a nightmare. You were probably thinking, okay, maybe they're not going to give me the visa, but then you just restarted and it worked out somehow.
Well, yeah, and so now I'm doing all of the things that I should have done 2 years ago. Like I'm just doing the integration appointments. I'm just getting my health insurance. I'm just exchanging my driver's license, like things like that. So it's kind of crazy.
It sounds like you're having a very French experience.
Yes.
You're doing it all right. You're on the right track. Usually people don't get their health card until like a year after being here.
Well, I'm sure mine will be another year, but yeah.
3 years later. And let's talk a little bit about your photography. Your photos are beautiful and you've developed quite the following on Instagram. Talk a little bit about how you got into photography. Was that happening before Paris or you were inspired? What was the story there?
So I've always really loved taking photos. I've Ever since I can remember, I've had a camera, whether it's just a little Polaroid or one of those digital cameras. I just always love to have my camera with me. So I think that's kind of how I developed a little bit of an eye. And then Paris obviously is just such a natural subject. Everything is so beautiful and catches my eye. And so I really just created the Instagram account. I created it in 2019 and I didn't tell anybody about it. I didn't, you know, I wasn't posting consistently, but it was just kind of a way for me to share snaps from my day.
Yeah.
And then during the first lockdown, I started getting a lot of followers and I was kind of surprised just because I wasn't really doing anything differently.
Yeah.
But I think just because people couldn't be here and people were stuck at home, they were looking at their phones more. Just more and more people started following along, and I actually hit 10,000 yesterday. So that was
Congratulations. That's a
thank
good birthday
you.
present.
It was a good birthday present. But I mean, Paris is just such a great place to take photos, and you know that, of course, more than me. But it's been really, really fun connecting with so
Yeah.
many people that love Paris and France.
Yeah, and I mean, there's so many people that post pictures of Paris, but your photos are beautiful and you capture it in a different way. I mean, it's so funny how all of us photographers, we can take pictures of the same exact thing and it looks completely different. I really love that about photography.
I do too. And I think here the light too kind of lends itself to that. You just
Mhm.
never know what you're going to get and what shadow and
Yeah, you can really do a lot with the light here. I really like the misty winter mornings too. Like the light is
Mhm.
really wild. It's been quite foggy lately. I remember when I still had photo shoots like pre-pandemic, like sometimes you would show up to the Eiffel Tower and it'd be totally covered in fog. And my clients would be like, where's the Eiffel Tower?
Oh
It's
my
like, come back
gosh.
tomorrow. The weather changes so quickly here.
Yeah, it's yesterday I was like just walking and I was like, wait, what is different? And I'm like, oh, the Eiffel Tower is completely hidden. Like,
Mhm.
could
Yeah,
not
it
see it
happens
at
a
all.
lot, especially in the winter for some reason. It's like where to go. And so talk a little bit about Instagram. Do you have like a love-hate relationship with it? Do you mostly love it? Is there anything you don't like about it?
Okay, I should not admit this, but I totally have a love-hate relationship. Like, I started posting every day during the first lockdown, and now I'm kind of afraid not to because of the algorithm. I live in fear of the algorithm.
Yeah.
It's so stupid and so irrational, but I mean, I do love it. I don't love the pressure that I feel
Hmm.
like I have to post.
Yeah.
Um, but I like sharing my day. It's not that. I think it's just more that I feel the pressure to have the algorithm on my side rather than just sharing what I want when I want.
Hmm. Yeah, yeah. It's more like a job in that way.
Also, yeah, and I love sharing and making people happy, but I'm kind of afraid to let them down too if I take like some time
Oh,
off.
yeah.
So,
And have you made any Instagram friends on there that you've
oh
never
my
met,
God.
but you talk all the time?
Literally everybody. It's so crazy. I don't think I've met like maybe 4 or 5 people on Instagram, but I feel like I talk to, I don't know, like 20 people really regularly, like sending like funny memes, like not even just, I mean, it's so crazy, but I'm so excited for when travel opens up again because I feel like I'm really going to have a lot of great lifetime friends.
Yeah, people that you've been talking to for such a long time and now you'll finally meet.
Yeah, it's kind of like back to a dating app or something. It's like you have all this build up and then you're gonna actually meet them in real life. It's like, oh
Yeah,
my
it's
gosh.
dating for friends. And do you have any tips for people who are trying to grow their Instagram?
You hear it all the time. Consistency is key, and I think that's definitely true given kind of my experience. I think you don't have to post every day, but I think it's probably good if you decide I'm going to post 3 times a week to really stick to that schedule. Hashtags have really helped me too.
Hmm.
If you're looking to grow followers. And I think also getting a little more specific. I used to just tag like Paris in the geotag, but I think now if you start going more specific to the street you're on, you have a greater chance to be on that discover page, and that just helps.
Hmm. Yeah, those are great tips. I mean, like you said, it's always changing, so it's hard to keep up with what works and what doesn't work.
Right. And I've really heard that reels are great, but video is not my thing. I don't know. My hand is
Yeah.
like shaky. I can't do
Oh,
it.
I know everyone's talking about Reels and TikTok, and I'm just like, I don't want to do
I don't
it.
either. I actually recently went down a black hole on TikTok just scrolling. It is so addicting. I've had to just
Yeah.
delete it, but it's entertaining. But I don't think I'm not sure how I would translate kind of what I do to TikTok because I don't know. I just it doesn't seem like me.
Yeah, it would have to be like moving photos or something, or something where you're bringing. I've seen some other photographers do it really well, where they show like tips and tricks on how they get the shots. But you obviously need someone to help you do that a lot of times, and I don't know. It just seems it's a lot of work, you know. I
Uh,
respect for people who do that, but taking pictures is so much easier. I feel like.
definitely.
And you also run an online shop where you sell vintage French antiques. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, so that was actually kind of a coronavirus pivot because my main business is planning travel, and
Mhm.
obviously that's not possible right now. So we spent the first lockdown in Normandy at my boyfriend's family's house, and we had every meal together, lunch and dinner, like sit down, full set table, the whole 9 yards. And at first I was like, how is this sustainable? I was thinking about myself in the US, and my family would have been like immediately, eating on our own, just whatever, which it's not a bad thing. I mean,
Yeah.
you need your space, but we actually did every single lunch and dinner together with, a beautifully set table. And that just really inspired me because I had this mentality of kind of saving these pieces for a special occasion just because you're worried something's going to happen to it, whether it breaks or whatever. And it made me so happy. It brought so much joy into my day, and I decided this could be a great thing to share with others. I'd always been interested in antiques, kind of like a nerdy child. I would beg my parents to take me to the antique malls and I just like look around. But yeah, it's been really, really fun.
And so are the brocants still open right now? Are you still able to find things easily, or is it a little more difficult with COVID?
So it's funny actually. Like in Paris, there are still brocants pretty much every weekend, but the stuff is pretty much the same. It's the same vendors and the same things. So I feel like I've kind of maxed out for now
Hmm.
on what I've seen, but they were pretty much open other than just that period, the lockdown in October. Wait,
Yeah.
when was that? October, November?
Yeah, there was like the full on well, I guess the full on lockdown, like March and all that.
Yeah, so wasn't doing it when I came back from that in June is when I started.
Hmm. Yeah, I think people love that. And you can find such beautiful stuff here. And I mean, everyone in the States wants that kind of stuff.
Yeah, so it's been a learning process for sure, kind of the shipping, and I've started shipping things in bulk to the US because I find the shipping prices are more palatable for people. I mean, I understand it's kind of like sticker shock when you see what it costs to ship something tiny, but that's unfortunately just what it is.
Yeah, shipping here is insane. I mean, just shipping my book has been like, oh my gosh, why is it so expensive?
Oh my gosh, it's just like, how is this possible in this world? But I guess now more than ever it makes sense because no one's flying anywhere.
There's like less planes going back and forth.
Hmm.
And talk a little bit about your travel planning. So you were helping design travel to Paris for people from the States or from anywhere in the world. How was that?
Yeah, so I started mainly working with people from the US and actually mainly from Texas. And so I do anything from designing a full trip with every single detail you could need, or just making a couple of restaurant recommendations, or if somebody would say, I want to know where the antique shops are that I should go to. And I love that. That kind of, I was doing some of that before I moved just because I love Paris so much and people would come to me asking for recommendations.
Hmm.
And a lot of times somebody would say, oh, here's what I'm doing for Paris. Here's my itinerary. What do you think? And I'd end up reworking the whole thing, just being like, oh, it doesn't make sense to walk here from here, or, you might like this museum better than what you have on your itinerary right now. So it was really just so much fun for me. And I loved it because I think sometimes people have bad experiences in Paris, and I don't like that. I want them to have the best experience possible and fall in love with Paris the way that I have. So
Yeah.
I kind of realized I'm already doing this I started, just with friends and family, and then it was other people were coming to me, friend of a friend type situation. And I realized there was really an opportunity for me to do that as my work.
That's great. You were like a good time ambassador.
Yes.
Like, I will make sure you enjoy France.
Yes, you will love Paris.
And what's the hardest part of that job? Have you ever had anything where you're like, oh gosh, like I can't make this person happy, or like difficult customers? And mostly everyone's been really great.
Um, for the most part, everyone's really great and everyone has a great time. But sometimes there are definitely people that are more difficult and more demanding. And also, there's just kind of the pressure of once they're here, is everything going to go smoothly? Is the airport pickup person going to be there and in the right place? And not even that is, is the jet lagged person going to see them? And just kind of that making sure everything goes perfectly. Or, sometimes people will call at 10:30 at night and say, oh, we actually want to change this, like, can you make that happen? Or like
Yeah.
30 minutes before. So it's just that kind of pressure, but luckily I haven't had any major problems.
Yeah, it's a learning curve, right? You're just learning how people work, and then you can set like procedures for that as well.
Uh-huh, exactly.
And would you say that France has changed you at all, or do you think you're still the same person?
Oh yeah, it's definitely changed me. I mean, I've always been an independent person, but I feel like now I've realized I really am very independent and I can kind of do more than I thought I could do, whether it's learn a language or just kind of problem solve. And also, when there's tough times here, you've got the time difference, or you don't have as much of a support system necessarily, or I don't at least.
Hmm.
So that's kind of, I've learned how to kind of deal with things within more.
Yeah, yeah, be more independent.
Hmm.
Would you say France is challenging?
But yes. I mean, there are some times when I just think like, "Oh my gosh, how is this even possible?" I think all of the paperwork nightmares you hear about are so true. I just some things I don't understand. It's like, how can you not make this online, or how can you not have a record of this? Why do you need this exact sheet of paper? Like,
Yeah.
I mean, it's crazy, but I've just learned to roll with it. I think with the pandemic, some things are becoming more online. Actually, seems
Mhm,
like,
mhm.
but oh, that France is challenging.
France is definitely challenging. I think that's a great word to describe France. Challenging, but we love it. We like challenges.
Yes.
That's why we're here. And what would you say to those people who are trying to discover their creative talents and feel they don't really know where to start? Is there any recommendations or advice you would give them?
I think something that's I've been learning to do is balance kind of the learning side, taking in as much information as I can, whether it's on a podcast or a blog or reading an article or joining an email list, with just kind of diving in and going for it. Part of me wants everything to be perfect when I start something new. And I've realized that as much prep work as I think I can do, there's always going to be something new that I'm going to have to learn or modify and adapt. And I think the sooner you just kind of try, the sooner you're going to realize if it's going to work or not, or if you need to change something, you can get it changed. And I think that's important.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Just to go with the flow. I think Francis, he really learned to do that here and definitely don't be a perfectionist.
Hmm.
Yeah, I would have to agree with that. And why do you think that creative people are attracted to Paris?
I think, I mean, it's just the city. There's just something about it. I don't know how to put it into words, but I think, I mean, you can walk down the same street every day and every day notice something that you haven't noticed before. I think there's just so many layers of stories and details, and there's just the light. I think there's something about it that just, I mean, maybe you get sick of it by the end of your life here, but I mean, even walking by the Louvre, like every time I notice something different. It's just, and I think also with the absence of all of the tourists and the people, the city has just kind of, it's really shining right now. It's just, you just see so much.
Yeah, you don't have the distraction of tourists everywhere.
And the car traffic, I mean, because you kind of get used to, I think, cars being parked, all down the street. So it kind of, it blocks part of your view. And now with less cars, you see more.
Yeah, no, and I think the mayor of Paris is trying to make more of that happen. She's trying to get rid of cars altogether, I feel like, which could be a good thing.
Yeah, it could be a good thing, could be not a good thing. I think traffic is already bad enough, but I do really, I think when they announced all of the new bike lanes, I heard so many French people kind of griping about what that would do for traffic. And I don't know that we know the full effect of that yet, just because the traffic has been so reduced. But it's so nice to walk, across Rue de Rivoli, and you don't have to worry about getting hit. I mean, I guess now you
Yeah.
have to watch out for the bikes, but
Yeah, bikes can be pretty aggressive too, but as far as pollution goes, it's nice to breathe cleaner air at least.
definitely,
I
definitely.
mean, I feel like no matter what, we're going to have some aggressive driving, but it would be pretty amazing to see Paris with no cars at all, like just bikes.
Yeah, no, it would be. And I just saw that they're doing something to the Champs-Élysées, like a big garden or something.
Yeah, they're changing to one big garden. They're doing the same thing with Trocadero. The garden is going to extend from Trocadero across the bridge all the way to the Eiffel Tower.
I mean, it's gonna be so nice to have more green, I think.
Yeah, yeah, I do like that idea. More green spaces. And do
Uh-huh.
you have a favorite photograph that you've ever taken?
Um, no, I'm not sure I do, actually. I
Do you have
don't
a favorite place you like to shoot?
I love the Louvre with the Seine. I think people are sometimes I wonder, like, are people sick of seeing this on Instagram? But there's just the light is always different and beautiful, and you can kind of get like the cotton candy sky with the sunset, or I that's definitely my top place to shoot.
Are you a sunrise or a sunset shooter?
Sunset. It's I'm an early riser in the US, but there is something about Paris. I can wake up, but it is hard for me to get out the door unless I have something that I have to get out the door for. I do not know why, but it's like I have a pull in my apartment. It's like, what can you do to not go outside?
Yeah, it's a slower pace of life, the European style.
Yeah,
It's funny. Yeah, I feel they don't really wake up here till like 10 a.m. It takes them a little longer to get going. Sunday mornings, oh my
Sunday
goodness,
mornings. I mean, it's my favorite
nobody.
actually.
Yeah, mornings in Paris on Sunday, you can have Paris all to yourself.
Until like noon or even later. Maybe because they're all having lunch with their family. I don't know, but I love it.
Yeah, nobody. And what's the best advice you've been given?
Um, I think it's kind of the golden rule. Treat others the way that you want to be treated, whether it's in life or in business. I think you never know who can help you and in what way. And I think you never know who's watching. And I just think that's the most important thing to kind of maintain your integrity and to really just treat everyone as you want to be treated.
Yeah, I think that's great advice. And as someone who's started multiple businesses now, do you have any business advice for creatives?
um, I think I heard something, and I don't remember where I heard it, but I think if you're a creative person and you think maybe there's multiple things you might be interested in doing, I think it's a good idea to kind of create your domain with your name, maybe
Hmm.
rather than with a like a name you would come up for your company, because I think that allows you to kind of evolve and have more things in the same place.
Hmm.
And also just as you're growing, you have, if people Google you, everything kind of comes up in one place rather than you have to remember the name of something. And I didn't really take that advice creating my antiques because I named it La Porte Bonheur, which is like the doorway to happiness. It's kind of like a play on words. Um, but I do have my blog, which is under my name. So I think I have the option to, maybe migrate it all one day.
Yeah, definitely. But start out easier, just go with your name from the start.
Yeah, and I think also there's so much pressure to come up with a name. I got hung up on that.
Hmm.
So I think if you have that, it kind of goes with the just get started and you can change it after. And my family they were all telling me that they're like, you just have to stop thinking about it. Just do something. You can change it later. It's not final.
Yeah, yeah, no, that's true. I mean, there's so many domains out there. You can always, like you said, migrate everything later, but there is a lot of pressure to make the first decision for sure.
Yeah, and I mean, I was so nervous when I started my blog. I didn't tell anybody about it for such a long time because I was so nervous. I was like, I have to have something in every bucket. So if somebody combs my website, nobody's combing your website. Just do it. You can delete the embarrassing stuff later. Like,
Exactly. I think we put way too much pressure on ourselves to be, perfect or great, especially in the creative field, because it's like judging yourself in a lot of ways. But the more you do it, the less you worry about that stuff, hopefully, or you become like a super perfectionist and lose your mind.
oh my gosh, I think I have just taken. Yeah, I don't. I'm not too much of a perfectionist, for sure.
Yeah, it leaves more room for ideas, I think, when you can just relax.
Mm-hmm.
And are there any future projects you're working on that you're excited to share?
So yes, actually right now I'm in the process of creating a print shop because I've gotten a lot of requests from Instagram to sell my photos.
Yeah.
So I'm really excited about that. The only problem for me is I like to shoot with my iPhone because it's convenient and sometimes the photos aren't big enough to print them in the, you know.
Yeah, but iPhone takes such great photos anymore. Like I think if you just a lot of them maybe are, unless they want like a wall size, but it's something to look into.
Yeah, and actually I saw that the new iPhone 12 Pro or whatever, you can shoot RAW, so that's awesome.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. So I
That's
need to
great news.
hopefully get an upgrade. I need to go back to the US. I actually do that phone plan where I just pay by the month and then I can change it every year because I'm kind of a technology nerd. Like I always want the latest.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh my gosh, I have the 11 Pro. I'm obsessed with it. I'm like, I'm fine with this. It takes great pictures. I'm done moving on, unless they invent something even more amazing. But raw, I'm like, meh, whatever. That's great. And where can listeners connect with you online?
So I'm on Instagram with it's at Paris with Landen, and then my website is my name, landenkerr.com, and that's where I have all of my travel planning and just my blog, and then my antiques and my print shop will also be at laportebonheur.com, which I'm sure you will spell out.
Yes, definitely. We'll put that in the show notes.
Okay.
Thank you so much, Landon, and I hope to see you soon in real life.
Yes, thank you so much, Crystal.
Thanks so much for tuning in to La Vie Creative. You can find more information on MissParisPhoto.com. And if you enjoyed this show, please feel free to share and spread the word for all my creative guests. We have the power to help them to keep doing what they love. See you next time.